Welcome to class, everyone. Subscribers, live students, so wonderful to have you. We are going to give more therapy to our sacroiliac joint today, that very thin yet poofy joint between the sacrum and the pelvis, the ilium. It's very valuable and it hides out and sometimes can cause some wonkiness in our bodies without us automatically recognizing it as a source. So let's see if we can pull those joints a little more synthesized and gravitational towards the center today. That's kind of a nice goal for our SI joint in general, to keep that togetherness. Love the theme, togetherness. So we're going to begin lying down so we can get a sense of that length of our bodies in space. So ease yourself down onto your mat. Take your hands to the back of your head so that you can soften the skull down to the mat, back of the skull. Right away, see if you can bring in your mind's eye your sacrum and match your back of the skull with the sacrum. And just find that place in space and get your knees bent. So we're easing through our recline here. So the back of the ribs are also going to be on the mat, yet at the same time, there's a curve in the low back. So that's lifting off the mat. Great. And then take the left leg long and the right leg long, and then the arms next to the body. So I would like us to just stand here in our stand. It's called recline Tadasana. So Supta Tadasana, mountain pose Tadasana. So mountain pose is a standing pose, but we're going to do this lying down. And when we stand up later, we can envision this support behind us. So anytime you want at home, you can do this on a wall as well. Take your elbows softly into the floor and lift the sternum up on an inhale, and on an exhale, ease that back and the shoulder blades a little bit closer together. So you're folding the shoulders away from the sternum, and then you can take the palms out up to the sky. So here in this active pose, we're going to take those heels to the floor and the toes towards the sky, spread the toes out. Inhale and exhale. We'll come into our breath work in a moment. Just want us to get in touch with our skeletal structure in space and feel the points at which your back body are touching the floor. And when you stand up in mountain pose later, kind of take those same landmarks and imagine that support behind the body. And that will also help keep our sacroiliac joint balanced. Let's take the glutes and just squeeze the glutes so you feel those activate, and then back off of that 50 to 60%, and then just feel those glutes engage, pointing the tailbone towards the heels. So we still have that curve in the low back, but we're really active through the glutes. Notice the breath here. And then ease off a bit. You can just relax a bit. And now notice again that feeling in space. Now let's tap into that breath work as well from here. The breath is a very important key element to healing any issues with our SI joint, or just to keep it really oxygenated throughout our movement. So when we inhale, we want to imagine we're coming from the top of the body down to the bottom. So we're like an elevator going down to the bottom floor. Inhale, sending that down, down, down. Through the inhale, and on the exhale, squeezing and in towards the center, feeling everything contract. And then feeling that air out, and then inhaling, and then out. One more elevator down and out. So feel free to take that elevator trip throughout our practice today. Take the bent knees, take the feet to the floor. And if you have a block nearby, get calling that up right now. And we're going to lift the hips so that we get a better sense of our hip points and our pelvis. Lift the hips up by pressing the feet into the floor. Ease that sacrum down onto the block. The sacrum should be on the block so that it feels nice and therapeutic. Keep those arms long on the mat and take one leg long and then the other. We're keeping those Tadasana mountain pose feet. So this is super active right here. And what it does also by lifting the hips up is we get to fold those shoulders away from the center a little bit more, lifting that sternum towards the chin. That should feel great. Unrounding that back. Alignment is also key to our spine alignment is key to having a healthy SI joint. Take our fingertips to those hip points now that they're jetting up a little bit more. Take the fingers to the edges of the pelvis, so those hip points, and you can feel free to massage outward, pull outward with your fingers away from the center of the body. So this, what you're experiencing here is that slight flexibility, mobility of that SI joint. It's not meant to have super flexibility. In the female body, it has more flexibility, which also can lead to some wonkiness around sometimes. So let's just notice, massage in there, getting into our psoas and other connections that may be tight. And then take the hands, still the fingers, take them just to the hip points, and then turn the toes out and just flop the feet out to the side. And notice as you do that, you feel a little outward motion on that pelvis, and then take the toes up towards the sky, feeling that with your hands, and then out again. And just go back and forth, hinging at the hips and noticing that slight movement in the pelvis. So it is a bit of an active joint. It's just not as hugely mobile like the others. So we're just noticing that. Great. And then inhale the arms next to the ears, and we'll take the heels, the feet active again, and reach up and just get this length in the body. Inhale, exhale. Enjoy the breath. Let's do that diagonal elevator this time towards the pelvis. And then send it up towards the head. Feeling the contraction. Inhale, invite in what you want, which is just courage and joy, and whatever you want to invite in. Exhale out the stress, the fear, the things that don't serve you at the moment. And then bring the arms back down next to the body, bend the knees, and we're going to bring the feet to the floor. Now we're going to take a nice trip upwards with our legs. Take those arms. You can even take your fingers to the base of that block and roll the shoulders again away from the heart, and then inhale the knees up towards the sky. And then we'll take the legs up to candlestick. So there you see your toes, spread them out. Great. So let's just take those a little bit apart, those feet about hip width apart, noticing that we're lifting the hips up and taking that load and the shock absorption off of the SI joint right now. That's a big part of its job. So let's ease it off. And then take the hands to the outside of the thighs. Now press into your hands and press the hands into the thighs. And then let go. Inhale. Exhale, do it again. Press, counter, press here. And let's do that again. Press hands and thighs into hands. Okay. Keep those feet keep those legs nice and high, candlesticks. Then take two fists and take them to the inside of the thighs, the adductors, and squeeze in on your hands. Try to be kind to the hands, but just get that gentle squeeze inward. Let go. Squeeze again and let go. And squeeze again. So we're increasing the strength. Let go. Exhale away from the body. And then we're increasing the strength of those adductors and abductors, which stabilize the pelvis. Voila. So keep those arms down for the floor now. And we're going to take a nice exercise with our legs. First, let's point the toes and flex so we can get our hamstrings a little more open. And then you can even bend and straighten with those flexed feet. And then reach up to the sky, and then we're going to take a V shape with our legs outward and inward. So this, again, strengthening and flexing the hip, the adductors and abductors. Synchronized swimming training as well. And come on up. Oh. And an inversion. So we're giving nice oxygenation to the brain, to the heart, to those vitals. Great. And then come on back up, and we're going to take the soles of the feet together and open the knees out into butterfly. And then come on up to candlesticks, open up to the V. And then we'll add that butterfly at the end of the sequence, and then back up out to the V. So you'll feel that maybe those adductors and abductors wake up a little bit, reach up. And also, as you do this, you're feeling that flexibility in the pelvis. So as you widen and then come together, you are experiencing that mobility of the pelvis. Come on up, bring them together. And then reach up, point and flex, get the hamstrings awaken up, and then bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor. And then we're going to take the right knee towards the chest, give it a beautiful hug. Actually, we're going to take the hand to the back of the thigh, press your hand into the thigh and the thigh into the hand. Let go. Another press, let go. Another press. Let go. Circle that knee in one direction, dropping your mind's eye into that hip socket and just feeling the fluidity there. And then the circle in the other direction. So there's an oil can to that joint. Oxygenation, fluidity. Then the knee comes towards the armpit. And we take that sole of the foot towards the sky, holding on to the back of the thigh, the ankle, or the foot. Half happy baby. Keep that left foot active on the floor, pressing into the floor. So as you press the foot into the floor and keep our awareness of the sacrum on that block, we're again gravitational towards the center, towards that spinal center of the body. And then maybe you can straighten out your left leg towards the bottom of the mat, keeping that foot active. Go soft here on your hips, no over efforting, just feel the drop of our gravity from above. Inhale the left arm up towards the top of your head next to the ear, and feel that length on your left side. Really reach away the feet from the top hand. Feel the length of that side body on the left. Delicious. Exhale it out. One more inhale. Exhale. Awareness of breath. Awareness of the cleansing breath. Take the left arm down to the mat. Bend the left knee and take that foot to the floor. Ease your right foot down. And then inhale the left knee towards the chest. Take hand to the back of the thigh. Press into that thigh, hand action, and let go. 2 more with the breath. On that exhale, press in, feel your strength. And coordinating into that sacrum, let go. Circle our knee and hence the hip socket. And then back again, oxygenate. Lovely. Great. And then we'll take that knee towards the chest, towards the armpit, and then back up, or sole of the foot up to the sky. Half happy baby. Your hand finds where it needs to go. on that left leg. And then we take our awareness of the sacrum and our half happy baby, press the right foot into the floor. Everything's magnetizing towards the center. And then we can lengthen out that right leg, perhaps towards the bottom of the mat, active foot. And then inhale, increase the length by reaching the right arm up next to the right ear. Inhale away from the hand, away from the foot. So you lengthen out, exhale, draw it into the center. Drop that left hip if you can. Beautiful. Sweep the right arm down, bend the right knee. Ease that left foot down. Beautiful. And then we'll lift the hips up, remove that block. And on our way down, just conveniently here, let's snake the spine down, bone by bone, using those nice glute muscles to ease and control the stability of the pelvis as you come down to the floor. Okay, now we're going to just easily roll over onto the left side and just take a balance here on our left side. Let's bend the knees. So we're keeping that pelvis, the sacrum and the skull aligned, but we're taking the knees a little bent in front of us so that they're making a nice little pyramid shape, the thigh to the shin. Great. And take your left ear to the top of that left arm. So just some nice strengtheners here. We're going to take our right hand to the side of the right thigh and lift up separate the thighs slightly, and then do that resistance pressure of the hand into the thigh into the hand here. And then release. Two more times. Inhale, exhale, press. Inhale that knee up, press. Great. And then take your right hand in front of the chest, and we'll just do clamshell. So we're opening the knee and then closing. Inhaling as the knee goes up and exhaling, just noticing with very consciousness, control that focus, just noticing the hip on that right side opening and closing. Yeah, and what you're doing here is getting a nice strengthener for some glute muscles that support the pelvis. Inhale, exhale. A couple more times. Great. And let's even that out, but on our way over, we'll come onto the bellies. On our way over to the other side, on our belly, drape yourself down. Let's take the arms long next to the ears and just keep the forehead on the mat and take the tops of the feet to the mat. So your toenails even come pressing into the floor. Really see if you can find your tailbone like an arrow and point down towards the base of the spine, towards the heels. So that as you point that tailbone down, you feel the tilt of the pelvis. So it tilts down, and then back off of that a little bit. And you'll notice there's another tilt of the navel towards the floor. So you can even practice as you point that tailbone, you're feeling that tilt, and then a little back and off. Yeah, so that's a pelvic tilt, but facing the floor. So when we come up into locust, which is lifting off onto just onto the belly, we're going to make sure we point that tailbone towards the heels and that the glutes are activated. So we support that pelvis. But first, let's take a deep breath. Inhale, send the breath down the body. And then bring it back up towards the crown. Really release to the earth what you'd like to let go of. On your next inhale, let's lift the left arm off the mat and the right leg and the head and come down. And then lift the right arm and the left leg. Reach long when you do this, and then come down. Inhale. Again, the other side, and exhale. On our next round, where the left arm comes up and the right leg, we're going to hold that and just feel like you're pushing inward energetically with your right leg and inward towards the center with your left arm. So feel that coming together. Come together right now. Exhale down. Let's say that Beatles line again. Inhale, come together right now with our right hand pressing in and the left leg pressing in. And then come on down. Now that we've balanced that out, let's lift everything off the mat. Inhale. Really feel the reach of the toes away from the fingers. Hold this, keeping that gaze nice and soft. Tuck the chin in slightly. Remember our head alignment with that sacrum. Back of the skull active. Come on down. Wiggle the hips side to side. Get that middle nice and strong. Let's come on up and do some swimming. Summer's coming to a close, but we can still take a little swim. Inhale, inhale, and paddle. Actually, here in our San Francisco, we get our warm weather now. Paddle, legs and arms. And down. Take one ear to the mat. Wiggle the hips side to side. Just loosen them up a bit. And then come on to your left side and we'll do our bend the knees in our shape there. Just making that pyramid shape. Thigh to shin, right ear to right arm. Great. Take the left hand to the side of the left thigh and lift the knee. Inhale, exhale, press hand and thigh together. And let go. Inhale, do it again. And then again. Great. Release the hand in front of the chest. Just feel that balance. And then we'll do repetition. Inhale as the knee opens on that left side and closes with an exhale. Repeat. This is getting into those fine tuning of the glute muscles. Great one to do regularly for our back, lower back support, and for our SI joint as well, of course. Repeat. Nice. And then bringing those together, we'll come onto the belly to transition towards a down dog. Grab your block and we're going to place the block in between the thighs. So making that sure that that supports the body in its, the knees in their hip width apart. So take the hands down to the mat, really spread the fingers, index fingers pointing towards the top of the mat. Feel that block, how that brings things in, brings the muscles activate towards the center, towards that center line. And then curl the toes under, lift the knees off the mat, and then the hips towards that back corner, top corner of the room. And ears between those arms. Keep the knees bent first. And just feel the length of the spine on your inhale. This time we're going to breathe that energy up towards the base of the spine, and then exhale it out of the top. And then if you can, bring your heels towards the floor. Fantastic. We're going to inhale and roll the shoulders away from the ears as we inhale and come forward into a plank. Making sure our hands are even on the floor, and then press away with your hands back to downward dog. Exhale. Inhale, new refreshing breath. Into plank. See if you can point that tailbone towards the heels. Strength towards the center. And then exhale back into down dog. Find this meditation with your breath, moving a couple more times. One more time, or just wait in down dog. Great. Press away. Now we're going to make sure our feet are nice and grounded. On your way, you're going to walk the hands to the feet, but on the way, you can micro bend those knees because we're going to come up in a nice fierce pose. Get fierce. That's another word for chair pose. Sit back in that imaginary chair, keeping the knees behind the toes. Let's align ourselves by standing on all four corners of the feet. And then sweep the arms behind you, downhill skier. Reach those shoulders back and then sweep the hands down to the floor and come on up off the thighs. As you feel that block in between the thighs, just see if you can bring that through the exhale. Let's bring everything into that center line of the spine and pelvis magnetizing both sides together. And then stand on the whole foot as you reach up towards the sky, squeezing the block, squeezing the block. Inhale up. And this allows us to take a nice side bend. Right hand grabs left wrist and we lean over to the right. Really using that reach of our skin on the left side. And then up again. Left hand grabs right wrist. Lean over. Oh, exhale. Beautiful. Oh, come on up. Sweep the arms to the side. Let's take a strong mountain pose. I'm just going to turn around so I can show you. We're going to squeeze here. Take the palms towards the front. So here's where we call up that vision of what we were on the floor. So feel those landmarks that you had on the floor behind you when we were lying down. Find them in your mind's eye. Here in your balance, you can try to close the eyes even and find the four corners of your feet. So the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner heel and the outer heel. These are key supports for your health of your SI joint. So really see if when you're standing anywhere in space, you can find those four corners and roll up from there. The strength of your legs, your glutes, pointing the tailbone, dropping it towards the floor. More landmarks, the back of your ribs, back of your shoulder blades, back of the skull. And then the reach of the crown of the head, if you had your eyes closed open, and just sensate what that feels like in space to stand so strong. Beautiful. And then we'll inhale the arms up just to get that extra length. Clasp the fingers together. Reach up towards the sky with your palms. Oh, beautiful. And then travel down with those clasped hands to the back of the skull. So this is just the back of the skull, not the bottom of the skull. And just press the hands. Again, press the back of the head into the hands into the head. Gently here. And notice that alignment that we're able to achieve with that gentle pressure. Right? And then we're going to take the hands to the base of the skull and then open up the elbows, butterfly style, just like our legs were. Open up and then close the elbows together. See if you can find them together in front of you as you curl the upper back forward in a C curve, and then open up. Close, chin tucked, open again at the pace of an amazing butterfly. Inhale, exhale together. Beautiful. And now we'll reach up We'll come back up, but we'll take the wrists together behind the back if you can. Find the wrists find each other, the back of the hands, and then bring those elbows down and then forward and together. Draw a line through the middle there, and then see if the wrists can meet behind you. Exhale down, inhale, elbows up, and then the wrists together, down. One more time. Inhale up, and wrists find each other. Exhale down. Now the hands go behind the back and clasp at behind the sacrum. So we've got that touch down, thumbs touching that SI joint in the back there. Now drop the hands just as if they have a weight on them towards the floor, and then open up, broaden across the collarbones. And then bring your gaze upward towards the sky. Invite the breath in. Exhale. Find yourself towards the neutral spine again. So already we're freeing up our neck, but this process. But then we're going to release the hands. Keep that length through the neck. Tuck back with your skull backward a little bit. Tuck the chin in and down towards our jugular notch. So tuck the chin and feel that stretch along the lengthening of the back of the neck. Gaze down. And then trace that line up towards the sky with your chin. Axis point there at the top of the spine. Beautiful. Staying on those four corners of the feet as your base, squeezing that block, and then come to look forward. Take the right ear toward right shoulder. Sweep that right hand up to the left ear. As you're softening towards the right, press your left ear into your right hand, and this is very gentle. Press your right hand into the left ear. So really gentle pressure here, and then let go. And then sweep that right arm down. Take the left arm out to the side, diagonal, and just make tiny circles. And then tiny circles in the other direction. Now your right hand finds the right ear and lift the head up away from the neck there. Great. Feel a little bit half-inch taller. Inhale, exhale, left ear toward left shoulder. Great. Lift that left hand toward the right ear. Counter pressure here. Pressing hand into ear, ear into hand. Oof. And let go. Drop the hand, drop the arm. Reach the right arm out. Circle in one direction. And then circle in the other. Beautiful. Take a left hand, support that left ear, reach up. Feel the freedom, turn the chin over to the right shoulder. Tuck the chin towards the right shoulder. Trace that line into the center of the body, along the collarbone. Lift up, turn over towards your left. Tuck it towards the left shoulder. Trace the line into the center. Beautiful. Lift up. Let's take our circles with the wrists up towards prayer position above the head. Circle. Circle, look up at the prayer position, then bring the gaze forward as we trace the line. Exhale, down towards the heart. Come back and take the circles in the other direction from whatever you were doing. If you're doing them backwards, bring them forwards. Look up to prayer. Exhale it down to the center. And one more inhale up. Reaching up. Draw it in to the center. Beautiful. And we'll drop the hands towards that block. Take the block out away from the thighs, set it aside. Now we're going to come into a gentle sequence between alternating, shifting our weight. That's another great thing to do for your SI joint, is keep the weight shifting right to left, never leaning just constantly on one side. So we're going to do a couple of poses to balance that out. We're going to come into lovely eagle pose, which is drawing into the center is a big part of eagle pose, as well as keeping that nice gaze, that raptor gaze forward on something, a still point. So you can keep that balance. Okay, so since we did chair, that comes into play as well. So let's inhale the arms up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, sweep the right arm under the left. Bring the arms in front of the body. Elbows in front of the elbows, elbows in front of the shoulders. Wrap the hand around if you'd like. And just find that center. So you can take the elbows away from the body, separate the shoulder blades, and then bring them together. So find that nice balance in your arms. Okay, now we're going to take the weight into the left foot and lift the right knee up off the mat. Bend that left knee slightly as you wrap the right foot around the left. So we're just going to kickstand the toes over on that left side of the body, right? And from here, squeeze the thighs together, bringing everything into the center line. Sit back into a chair pose, keeping your left knee especially behind those left toes. Okay, and then if you want to lift your foot, keeping the shins glued together, you can do that too. And really test the balance there. Woohoo! If you wobble, that's okay. Oh, find that sit and find the tall spine. Just kind of play with that. And then inhale up, sweep the arms out, shake them out. And we're going to take the weight onto the other foot. We were on the left foot. Yes. So we're going to come over onto the right foot and reach out star style. Inhale out to all the directions there, the feet and the hands, and then bring the balance onto the right foot and see if you can inhale, reach out, and as you exhale, really feel that magnetizing towards the center, the glutes activate, draw together. And we're really testing that balance. Inhale, exhale, find the ground. And then bring the feet together and we'll take the weight onto the right foot. So we're gonna take that, we're not to do that yet. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Inhale the arms up and sweep the left arm under right. Come on to that right foot, sweep the left foot around it, glue the thighs together, glue the shins together, and sit back in a chair. I'll do it to this side so you can see that alignment, skull to sacrum. Inhale, see if you can slide that foot off the ground on the left. Keep the gaze steady like the eagle. And then back up. And we're going to shift to the left foot as we take a wide stance. So what we're doing is drawing those those hip bones away from each other here, and then leaning over onto the left foot and balancing, finding that inhale, reaching towards those extremities, and then exhale, draw it in, magnetize. Try a few breaths here. And then ease it down. Beautiful. And now we'll bring it all together again. Bring the feet together. Coming onto that left foot again. Inhale the arms up. Right arm under left. Eagle this time. Just make it a little more fluid. Getting into it. Right over left. Sit back. Quiet the mind. Don't forget your elevator breath. Hold it another breath. And then sweep it out, everything together. Separate the feet. Notice that, the pelvis follows. We're going to come in and then open up and then reach out. See how much more. Can you get another inch of reach? Another little maybe tilt to your star here. And exhale it down. Draw things together, magnetize. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, other side, left under right. Draw the foot around, left foot over right. Sit back. Drawing it into the center stabilizes the knee, stabilizes the pelvis. Come out when you need to. Reach up, exhale, bring it into the center. Now we'll take another balance, bringing that practice of closing and opening. So we're going to take a standing knee hug. So come on to that mountain pose. Imagine squeezing that block in between the thighs. Oh, did we not do the other side? Oops, did we forget a star? Oh, anyway, make sure that's evened out. I think I might have forgotten one side. I'm so sorry. Come on back. Rushing. Okay. So let's come back to mountain when you're finished with your star sequence. And we'll lift the right knee off the mat. Take the back of the thigh into your clasped hands. Okay. And then we'll do that counter pressure that we were doing lying down. Press into the thigh into the hand into the thigh. And feel how that brings things into balance on either side. Beautiful. And if you want to hug your knee towards the body, you can do that too, staying balanced. Inhale, exhale. Drop the knee slightly and see if you can straighten out that leg while cradling the thigh in the hand. If you feel balance, just drop out of it. It's okay. See if you can just cradle that thigh and hold the pose, bringing those two sides, especially those two glutes, drawing them together. And then take the knee again, take the shin and gently open up the hip out to the right. And then draw it back to center on an exhale. And then down. Let's try another mountain pose to steady everything. Exhale. Inhale. I'm going to do this to this side at first just to show you and clarify. I'm lifting the left knee up, right angle, cradling underneath the thigh. Great. And we're pressing in the thigh into the hand into the thigh. That strengthens the tower on the right. You can stand strong. And then if you want to hug the knee towards the chest, keeping your balance. And then cradle that foot again, cradle that thigh again, reach the foot out, straighten the leg. Breath, steady. And then bend the knee, take a hold of that shin and just gently open up the hip and the knee out to the side, the left side. Switch my position. And then down again. Whew, shake out the legs. Now let's do a little counterbalance here on the right side. So we're going to inhale the right knee up again, hold the shin, and then we're going to open it out to the right, keeping that foot active, and then take the arm out to the left. And just see about that balance there, counterbalancing with the arm. Beautiful. Bring it into center. Inhale, left knee again. Open it gently out to the side and counterbalance with your right arm. And then come on back in. Wonderful. We're coming down, toe to the bottom of the mat. Stand at the base. Inhale, arms up. And then we're going to evenly swan dive down. If you need to bend your knees to protect that low back, that's okay. Sweep it down. Hands find the floor and just hang the head down. Very briefly in a forward bend. Shake your head yes and no. And then bend the knees, palms find the floor, walk back. And here we've got our down dog without our block, but we're going to just imagine that the block's between the thighs. You can pedal your feet if you'd like. More hamstring work here. Then inhale evenly onto the tiptoes and bring those heels down if you can. And soften your face as we gravitate towards the floor, bringing the knees down. Beautiful. And then roll over onto the back. So lovely. So we're going to do a figure 4 and then add a twist to it. But if you want the twist part to just be a regular twist with your knees together, put a block between the thighs. That's okay. But because just for knee issues. But anyway, if you want to join me, I'm going to take the left knee towards the chest. Let's circle the ankles because we've been up on the standing. And then take the left ankle to the right thigh. Take the left hand to the left thigh, press into the thigh and the thigh into the hand. Lots of this balancing counter pressure to help bring those fine little joints together in the SI joint. Let go. Find your sacrum, just align in space here. Inhale the right thigh towards you, clasp the back of that thigh, press another isometric pressure here into your hand and thigh into hand, et cetera, et cetera. Bring that right leg up towards the sky. If you want to get that bonus of our hamstring stretch, dropping into our right hip. Beautiful. A real figure 4 here, everything aligned. Bend the right knee, bring the right foot down to the floor. And now using the strength of our right foot on the floor, bridge the hips up and roll over onto your right side. The left foot will land on the floor and then we're just on our side. Now, if you want to grab your left ankle with your right hand, you can do that. And then see if you can find that spine alignment. So the back of the skull, just touch the back of the skull, then find the sacrum and make sure they're lined up nicely. And then if you want to take the left hand to the heart, really reach that elbow up toward the sky. The upper spine, so the middle of the spine, the sternum area upwards is going to do the twist here. And maybe there are micro movements in the pelvis towards the twist, but mostly it's a steady experience. And then open up the left hand arm into a T. You can press through your right elbow to lift into this twist, only into the mid and upper back. And then if you want to find your back foot there on the right side for a thigh stretch, that's great, but you don't have to over effort that. Don't compromise just the comfort of the low back for that situation. You can just take your left knee and make a little swing inch side to side so we get into those outer hip muscles. Stretching. Sweet. You can hear the creaking of the screen door. Great. And then sweep it back so the left arm comes up, and then we're going to go onto our back to that figure 4 beginning and unwind it. Beautiful. Inhale the right knee towards the chest, circle your ankle in both directions. And Exhale all that air out. Take your right ankle to the left thigh. Take the right hand to the right thigh. Press. Isometric pressure here. So we really wake up the right and the left, meeting them together. Let go. Find that sacrum. Inhale the left thigh towards you. Cradle that thigh. Press hands to thigh, thigh to hand. Yep, great way to address any hip pain. Sometimes that can be really helpful. And then take the foot up towards the sky if you want a bonus hamstring. Coming back to the breath as our major stabilizer, the breath. Bend the left knee, foot finds the floor. And pressing through that foot, you can bridge up and flip yourself onto the left side. Right foot finds the floor. And take the right hand to the back of the skull and just see about that sacrum alignment, making sure that pelvis is lined up. And you can take the left hand to the right ankle. And we're getting ready for a twist. So right hand to the heart, elbow to the sky. Keeping things steady in the pelvis will turn the ribs and the head over towards the right. T-arm. Increasing the twist if needed. Press into the left elbow. Find the foot in the back if you'd like. Extra bonuses, even more on the quad. Or just melt into that long T-arm. And then pressing through that right foot, you're just going to sway that knee if that works for you. Side to side. Again, traditional twists are just fine as well. If your knees are tricky. Really feel the breath oxygenating every little intricacy of your spine as you inhale. And the twist really helps squeeze that air out. Ugh. Releasing, squeezing out like a washcloth what is no longer needed. Release from the right side. Reach the arm up to the sky. Release the left arm. And then roll onto the figure four. Bring that right foot down to the floor. Bring the knees together and the feet wide apart. We'll do our crazy legs. Another, keeping that. So when we take our crazy legs, we do our windshield wiper legs and trace the right knee down, the shin, left shin towards the left foot. We're stabilizing that joint as well when we keep that contact with the knee. Slide it up the shin and then left down the right shin, left knee down right shin, and then back up again. So even if you feel the hip points, you're keeping them relatively stable while being able to stretch our abductors. And then take the arms, thumbs to elbow creases, slide the arms side to side away from that direction of the legs. Side to side. And then the head goes side to side. So we're looking over to the right while the elbows go to the left, and over to the left while the elbows go to the right. Take those eyeballs and involve them too. Let's watch the elbows with our eyes. So we're traveling and coiling along the axis, center axis of the spine, all the way to the head. sending that communication to our whole nervous system that it can receive what it has been given, to rest it, digest it, reset. Great. Bring the knees together. Flop those arms out, palms up. So we're finding that stability behind the body. Pressing the elbows into the earth. We'll just lift the sternum up, bring the shoulder blades together, and just open up. You can keep the knees bent for Shavasana if you'd like. You can put them up on a piece of furniture, like just bringing the legs up supported, or you can just lengthen out your legs for our beautiful synthesizing Shavasana, flopping the feet out to the side or up on a chair, lifting them up just gives extra, taking extra weight off the hips. Let's take that visualization of summer as we sail on toward fall, of our flotation on our mats, light as a feather on a beautiful body of water, even if it's your favorite swimming pool. The warmth of the sun and the coolness of the water beneath you, lifting the bones up, weightless, supported, bringing that fluidity to the breath. Sending the breath all the way to the heels, and then drawing the breath back up the legs and up the torso. Inhaling the breath all the way down the arms to the ends of the fingers. And feel that breath like a breeze up the arms, or the shoulders, releasing out of the crown of the head. Breathing into that pelvis, feeling the ease of motion. Exhale up that torso, up the spine, out of the crown of the head. Release the force beneath you, just to float. Another breath of that sensation of floating. Exhaling, landing yourself back in the space you're in. Wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bending the elbows, the knees. Finding yourself rolling onto the right side and using your hands to help you up to a seated position. Inhale the arms up towards the sky. Invite in what you want to bring to your weekend. Come on down the center to the heart. Invite it in. Thank you so much for sharing the practice with me today. Namaste.